Today's number of the day is 4, which is the number of distinct major sporting events I watched this weekend, including the World Cup, Wimbledon, F1, and what was the other one? Oh, the Tour de France. It's a good weekend.
F1 America, baby! You're telling me these guys can turn left and right?
Welcome back, beautiful people, to this 4th of July weekend British Grand Prix race review. I'm here alongside Natty, Nathaniel, Lawler, and welcome back to the pod.
Hey, I'm back, baby. After a long hiatus, I got a new microphone.
Natty, that's a sick mic. I love
like this?
I love the mic vibe.
It was 99 cents at the Dollar General.
Did you get it in a cereal box or what?
Family size. Yes, I did. Dude, freaking... Here we are. I was gone. And I gotta...
explain yourself to the people, not to me. You don't need to explain yourself to me. Why did we miss 3 podcasts, Natty?
So Hope is my wife. We're like having a fun summer away. And we're both basically taking off work this summer and bouncing around. So we were up in the mountains for a while. We were in Oregon for a while with our buddies Davey and Ryan, bike packing across the state. It was really fun. Yeah. But I was away from my computer a lot and watched all the races, but I couldn't get on my computer. So I'm sorry to all of our 4 devoted listeners. It's a bummer that I've been gone, and I apologize. Look, I know I don't seem as devoted. I should have probably figured out a way to get on the pod while biking. That would have been a good look.
That would have been sick.
Dude, it's been sweet though. Sweet time off, some vacay up in the mountains, a lot of biking.
Vacay is needed.
It's been a good time.
But yeah, we missed Austria Grand Prix, the Barcelona Grand Prix, and the Monaco Grand Prix.
I know. Pretty fun.
In short, Monaco is exactly what we talked about prior to that podcast.
Which I was hoping it could be something different with all the boosts and all that, but it really wasn't. A ton of people did not finish.
Yeah. What was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. 7 DNFs.
Which is
Carlos,
crazy.
Charles Leclerc, woof. Which was such a heartbreaker. I'm like, the one guy you actually want to win that race just gets hosed. And then our favorite F1 driver of all time, Lance Stroll, Lando, sad. Ollie, also sad. Valtteri and Max did not finish that race.
No, that was pretty sad.
Podium was Kimi, Lewis. That was when you started to realize that Ferrari might have a good car.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've always had like spurts of showing greatness, but definitely more consistency with Lewis that weekend.
So the big point on this one, and I'm so glad I'm just remembering this now because of how long ago this was, but Pierre Gasly was P3.
Oh, yeah.
However, Isaac Hadjar was on the podium because Pierre had a time penalty, which was a drive-through penalty that he didn't serve because apparently he sped it in the pit lane twice, but then Alpine reviewed it and so he wasn't going over 80 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, because like a ton of people got those infractions.
Mm-hmm. And so did George, but George served the penalty versus Pierre's team said, F that, we're right. We're going to contest this after the race.
Totally. No, it was a smart move. But yeah, it was a weird race because there were so many penalties. Like everyone was lit up with a little red exclamation mark throughout the whole race. It was kind of, you knew some stuff was wrong.
And I also think people were trying to push boundaries on anything because of how backed up you get in that race.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, shout out to Pierre, honestly.
No, it's cool.
He gets so underrated just because he had a bad start in the cursed second Red Bull seat years ago. Mm-hmm. But cheers to him. And then we moved on to what was it? The Barcelona, the Spain Grand Prix.
I don't have anything on that
other than Lewis's first win in Ferrari. Yeah. That's a big talking point out there, which honestly, I don't like Lewis, but I was kind of stoked to see him up there.
No, for sure. He's what, 40? Is he 40 or 41?
I don't know. I just know he's dating Kim Kardashian.
I don't know. He's aging beautifully, but he's driving like he's prime, which is pretty cool. I mean, he's really crushing. So that's sick to see. And then Obviously Austria Red Bull Ring, Max showed up and was just kind of crushing. I thought that was a fun race. All
Yeah,
in all, a good race.
the big thing I liked from the Austria Grand Prix was, and it's so random, it was gonna be on my Legends and Losers for that week, but it was the drone shot that they
Dude,
had in, like,
on
turns 9 and
turn
10.
yes. They used that
Like
high-speed drone that they broke out in that, that video a couple years
mhm,
ago. I thought
and
that was sick.
people are bashing on it all over
Dude,
Twitter. I thought it was awesome. Like, I loved and it was a good overtake zone where there was a lot of pressure.
yes.
And the shot, I'm like, yeah, it's not like stationary, but I'm like, you're going along with the cars and you can see it all through 2 corners. I was a fan.
No,
People were bashing on it.
I thought that was a cool angle. That's the type of angle that I think should how you kind of in the old F1 app, you had like the options of different like camera views that you could see, you could actually choose. I feel like if there was constantly like a drone following the leaders or like the most interesting battle, like lap over
Mhm.
lap, I think that would be a really, really cool shot because it is so immersive. And it's like, I love the helmet cam that they do, or like the cockpit cam.
Yeah.
I think that's like an amazing camera view. And I feel like if they did kind of a third person drone shot like that, showing both the person who you're like interested in, but cars around them as well. I think that would be a sick way to look
Yeah,
at the
I mean,
race.
after that Grand Prix, that was the first time I had hope in the production of F1. I was like, "Oh, this is finally getting better," because for the last several years, the production has been terrible. They're cutting at different points, and they're on one person that you have no idea why
Yeah.
we're watching that race when we should be watching
Yeah.
some other race. But, I
Yeah.
mean
It felt like a more nimble, more close up helicopter view,
but
which was
yeah.
awesome.
That was my takeaway from the race for whatever it's
Yeah.
worth, and I
I'm
I
about it.
love that track just in general. What is that turn? I don't know if they count that. The turn at the top of the hill, is that
Yeah.
3,
Turn three.
4,
Turn
3?
three.
I love that turn. There's
It's
always
amazing.
chaos at that turn, but
Well, yeah, the good thing about the Red Bull Ring is there's like 3 or 4 overtaking zones, which is maybe the most of any track on the circuit, but it's a relatively short track. So you have 3 or 4 overtaking zones in like a 72 lap race or something like that. It was some crazy high number. And so just appreciated that because you have so much action. I think it's one of the best races on the calendar, like at least one of the best tracks on the calendar.
yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, but well, that catches us up to date of the 4th of July weekend. We're recording this on July 5th, the Sunday of the British Grand Prix race review. So, we're current. We're
Hey,
current.
we're back. We're
We're
back. But
back.
here's the thing. I barely even want to talk about F1 today, Matt.
Why is that, Natty?
There are I was overwhelmed in a good way this weekend when I looked at I love sports. I do love sports. I
Sports.
love niche sports. So here we are in World Cup season. Every American for every 4 years gets obsessed with soccer. Everyone's got to relearn what offsides means, all the rules of the game. You're learning about countries that you've never heard about. The World Cup's been so fun.
And to be fair, I hate soccer. I hate the sport, and we don't need to go into that, but I have been
No, you
loving
followed Prem for a while though.
I tried. I
Yeah, no.
tried. I tried
Soccer's
following
soccer's a great
Liverpool.
sport. Matt's wrong.
I follow Wrexham just because I
That's
just
fun.
like their story, but it's just
It's been sick. The whole World Cup has been so electric. Uh, no, I mean, I'm pretty stoked. And what I love about it, here's what I love about the World Cup that is so different than F1 is F1 is so cost prohibitive. The people who are in it, it's so hard to get into the sport. Once, there's only like 22 drivers who can even race in the sport. And then it's just impossible to even be a part of it. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have soccer, where a team like Cabo Verde can play Argentina. Cabo Verde has a population of 500,000 people total. That's not even eligible people. Let's say 250,000 men. And then exclude all the elderly, all of the children. You have this small group of people who are like working normal jobs. These are like
yeah,
not professional soccer players.
it's so
And they
sick.
go toe to toe with Argentina and almost beat them.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, that's a beautiful game. That is the
Yeah,
beautiful game.
and the announcers were talking about it, and I didn't really realize it, but it totally makes sense when you hear it, that soccer is, should we just call it football for the no, we're in America, we're calling it soccer, sorry. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world because you only need one piece of equipment to play,
Only one.
where, like, every other sport, just think about all the stuff you need,
No,
where you
it's
just need a
cool.
ball, but
We're
it's
all about
been
accessibility, and that's a cool part about soccer.
yeah, it's been sweet. I've been freaking loving it for,
The other
like
thing that's going on, I mean, this whole episode might as well just be sports we love besides F1, is, dude, the Tour de France is back, which I've been waiting for this one for a while. I mean, honestly, since last July, I've been waiting.
so
I
when are you gonna
love
be the premier sponsor for that event?
Oh man, I would need to have so many millions of dollars to have Durback Hydration be the headlining sponsor. It's dude, the Tour de France is so fun though. We've got Jonas Vingegaard on Visma Lease bike team going toe to toe with the GOAT Tadej Pogacar
So,
on PB8.
I've never watched a biking event in my life.
Oh, it's
Um,
amazing, Matt.
are
You got
people
it.
still just blood doping and cheating, or they cracked
No,
down on that? Is it a
no,
real
no, no,
sport again?
no. I mean, there's so much. Like screening now. So like the general consensus is that it's not happening. Especially like the top guys are under so much scrutiny and have so much analysis. And like I feel like if there was something, it would be uh yeah, the amount of testing that like has gone into everything, there would be signs of that. So no, it's super clean. And that's the other piece that I love about cycling that's so different than F1, where with F1 that's this like partial engineering sport. But with cycling, it's like, everyone has generally the same equipment, different brands of bikes, but like you're not getting these huge legs up from
Mhm.
mechanical stuff. So everyone's using very, very similar nutrition and very similar equipment. And it really just comes down to who's the biggest dog. Like it would be like stock racing in F1. You'd really see, hey, who's the best driver? And so that's a fun piece. Like dude, these guys, I'm convinced, are the best athletes in the entire world. Like they are the pinnacle of fitness.
You
Like,
think?
dude, quite literally, yes. These teams choose cyclists from like genetic screening of like youth. They'll like have these like, cycling academies throughout Europe and stuff test these kids at a young age to look for specific biomarkers just to say, hey, who are potentially the most fit athletes of this generation? And we're going to turn them into cyclists because the margins are that thin between like, because it's just like, hey, how good are you at pedaling? Like, how fit are you? How efficient is your body at delivering power through the pedals? Like, your watts per kilo is the power that they call. So I genuinely think that these are the most athletic individuals, not necessarily like hand-eye, not IQ, but it's like the actual fitness level of these guys. I'd find me someone else who is
See
more efficiently fit.
see, this I am not an avid follower, so I can't back it up too much, but I've watched the CrossFit Games a handful of times, and some of those guys is like, yeah, they're absolutely shredded and their physique is awesome, but their stamina on top of strength, I'm like, I would argue that they're pinnacle.
They wouldn't even be close. And this is a specific type of fitness because you could talk about like raw strength. There's like a spectrum of fitness. This is very much so like cardiovascular fitness on a power to weight ratio. So
That's
these
fair.
guys, like, if you threw any of those CrossFit guys on a bike, they would get absolutely demolished. Like it would be a laughing stock.
Yeah, they could probably beat whoever it is in a mile race, but then after that, just get
Yeah, maybe
toast.
maybe so because like if you think about like the amount of power they could put through the pedals, they could maybe put the same amount of power through the pedals as these guys, but then these guys are 20 kilograms lighter. And so you think about how big of a feat that is for someone so small, so light, at like 150 pounds or 160 pounds at the most to be putting so much power through the pedals. It's pretty amazing.
Dude, and just overall, sports, I mean, we're
Sports
in the
sports are
pinnacle of
back.
sports right now. Yeah.
Sports are back
Well, at least for a little bit before we go on,
to college
summer
football.
break. Oh, well, all football, but yes, I mean, There's a lot of shenanigans going on in the NFL right now with a lot
Oh,
of
no.
players, but,
It's awesome, man. So it's been fun. So we had Tour de France that started. Stage 2 is today. And let's talk about that as well. They have 21 stages with 2 rest days. So these guys are riding like an average of 100 plus miles a day, full gas for 21 days with 2 rest days.
so how does Tour de France work?
Okay, so there's 21 stages.
Okay.
All throughout France. It's actually starting in Barcelona this year. You typically have like 2 time trial stages, but
Okay.
you basically do like 7 stages, a break, 7 stages, a break.
And is
Final
a
7
stage a
stages.
day?
A stage is 1 day.
Okay.
But it's all in a row. So it's you start in the morning, and typically these stages are around like 4 to 6 hours long of riding.
Okay.
And so it's anywhere from, like 100 to like, I don't know, like 160 miles would
So
probably
are
be the
they just
longest
going
stage.
checkpoint to checkpoint?
They're basically all the stages are drawn out. It's different every year. So like they map out a new course every year.
Okay.
And it's basically start line, finish line, designated route. You have teams of 8, 8 riders, and then there's like a general classification. So it's the person who has the lowest cumulative time across all 21 stages. So you could be in the lead, but then crash out in the very, very last stage and lose because it's cumulative time. It's not points.
Mm,
It's just time. So everyone's looking to kind of like jostle to get the lowest time. Usually each team has one person that they're sending forward to win that general classification.
mhm.
And then there's also like a similar to F1, there's like a constructors championship. So the
Okay.
team with the cumulative time or like most points in some different ways can win as well. Dude, but it's amazing. I mean, some of these days they'll be, would have biked 14 days in a row. And then the next stage, there's 17,000 feet of climbing
That's insane.
in one day. And they are going full gas. It's crazy. There are some stages that I'm gonna share with you that I'm like, dude, you need to watch this. Like, you should watch this day. There's also a YouTube channel that I'll share with you. This guy called Lantern Rogue that like he does a recap of every day, and it's amazing. And I'll send you that as well, because I think that will be probably the easiest way for you to like kind of stay in touch with it. It's a good time. I'm pretty happy. We didn't even touch Wimbledon, but hey, let's get on to British Grand Prix. Dude, it was a good race. I actually really enjoyed this race. Before we get into that, let's just do a quick recap of the top 10. So we
Yeah,
had
give me the top 10, Natty.
let's start at number 10. 10, we had Pierre Gasly. A pretty good showing. Above him, his teammate Colapinto, which was pretty awesome. Gabriel Bortoletto squeaked in at number 8, which was surprising to me. More surprising was the 2 Racing Bulls at 7 and 6, Arvid Lindblad and Liam Lawson, respectively, which was a pretty good showing. There's reasons for why those guys got so high. We'll get to that later, because we had some people who were not in the top 10 that notably usually are there. Isaac Hadjar was at number 5 with Red Bull. Lando Norris was at number 4 with McLaren. Old Lewis Hamstring Hamilton, he's at number 3. George Russell at number 2. Silver Bullet, Silver Arrow, finally making up the pack. And then I was pretty happy about this. His first win since 2024, Charles Leclerc of a Ferrari. We had 2 Ferraris on the podium. That's the first time that's happened this season?
Yeah. Well, I think first one.
Maybe?
I don't know.
Maybe so. But anyways, it could be Charles Leclerc. Man, he was going to lose. We'll get to that later. But he hung on for the win. So it was a pretty awesome race. There were quite a few DNFs. Some DNFs and then some very severe mechanicals. Before we get too into the details, just give me your take on the race, Matt. What'd you think about it?
Man, what did I think about the race? I liked it. I thought a lot was happening, and the order got changed up quite a bit. And towards was at like laps 35 to the end, it was Verstappen, Lewis, and Kimi fighting back and forth. No,
For
George,
the podium position.
fighting back and
Yeah.
forth. And I love just seeing 3 cars racing pretty closely and just
Super
waiting
close.
for some sort of chaos to happen, which did. So overall, racing was great. I was livid at the end of.
Dude.
I wanted one last racing lap. So Lewis was on fresh
Oh my
softs,
gosh.
and George was on old tires. And it's like Lewis only needed 1 lap just to get past him, and then I would have loved some chaos at the front, and I was just so mad that they didn't restart it, and I was annoyed, but that was
No, I
my
mean, I think that was one of the biggest bummers of what I would call a really great race was what felt like the FIA just doing everything in their power to like screw everyone over. It was like a really strange, like I want to like hear what the FIA was thinking. Obviously, it would be a hard job in the middle of like an active race to, make good calls. Like I have plenty of compassion for their role, but it also is their role to like keep a good thing going. And, they calling Hamilton's false start a false start, that was the least of
that
my
was
worries.
ridiculous.
It it
I
w
don't know what the rules are, but it's like
he nudged, stopped, was still
well,
in
it's
his red
hardly
dot.
even a nudge. It was
Yeah.
kind of
Like,
just like a clunk of a shift,
yeah, it
and
was
it
like he
didn't
let
even
off the clutch,
he didn't even roll.
and he
And I was
came to a
like, he's
complete stop. That was the other thing. He, like, totally stopped, didn't roll, and then gets a 5-second penalty because of that. That was stupid.
yeah, there was a bunch of things from the FIA that was
Well,
question
the other
marked.
one was Kimi got a 5-second penalty when Kimi had this mechanical late in the race, basically where there is a part of his brake duct that looked like it broke off within his suspension that caused him to not be able to turn as much as he wanted to.
Yep.
Specifically, I think turning to the left. Um, and so he started losing a bunch of time and handling and went off the track a couple of times. Like he would go wide on a turn, and would have to rejoin, but like was going really slow. And the FIA gave him a 5-second penalty for going over racing limits, which was like, dude, you give a 5-second penalty for going over racing limits if someone is like gaining an advantage. Kimi was losing heaps of time and was tumbling down the order. And then they're like, oh, yeah, here's a 5-second penalty for all of that, by the way. I'm like, guys, what are we like? That's not the point of a penalty.
Yeah, I just pulled up everything on Twitter because I want to understand, like, one, that penalty was ridiculous because I believe in the rule book it's to gain an advantage,
Yes.
which he was losing so much time.
No,
So
I
I
think he'll
imagine
get,
that Mercedes is trying to like appeal it, and I'm waiting for
yeah,
that update.
they
But
might. They also might not because I think his ending result was 16. So even if I think the best that he could get,
no, well, with the time penalty, he was 16, but he
wa-
was in
was he, I think
P9.
was
He's
he
P9
P9 or
before,
maybe
yeah,
P11?
he was P9 going
Oh.
into that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He was either P9 or P10.
He was P10, then when Verstappen went out, he bumped up to P9.
You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So
And
they'll appeal that to get those points because that's 2 points. And if we remember correctly, last year's championship was determined by
2 points.
2 points.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous. And
I know.
live update on the podcast.
Oh, come on.
FIA explained that it was a software issue, caused a controversial end to the British Grand Prix. That
Oh
some
my
sort of
god.
software issue, they wanted the safety car in that lap, but it didn't correspond to the safety car.
It's so dumb. Okay. Well, anyways, like that's whether or not I believe that is one thing. They should have just overridden that and communicate. Like there's things they could have done. What we're talking about is the last lap, basically, probably actually 5 or 6 laps before the end of the race. Max was on new soft tires because there was another safety car or a virtual safety car for who was it? Hulkenberg? Someone came in and there's a safety
He,
car.
yeah, it was Hulkenberg. Yep, because he stopped
Yeah.
on the side of the road.
Yeah, so there's a safety car for Hulkenberg. Max comes in because he was behind, pitted for fresh softs, I believe. And this was like a number of laps before, maybe like 16 or 20 laps before the end of the race. And is just like gonna hammer it, try and catch back up to the podium, pass Lewis and secure a podium position, pass Russell as well. That was his hope. So he's just like going hard, basically going into Cop's corner. I believe it was Cop's corner. He lost no, it might have been a different corner. He lost the rear, which looked like a suspension failure. It was something mechanical with the car.
Yeah, it was weird because it kicked out right, not
Yeah,
left on a right-hand turn.
it
Like
was super strange.
something Yeah, and
But he
that
had a
was a part of
high-speed
that
crash out.
that was a part of the crash for the last laps where I was like, as soon as he went off, they issued the safety car. Like, he
Yeah,
wasn't fully beached at that point, so, like, they were on it, and that's where I was like, if you're gonna try putting a safety car to get that car off the track to get them
yeah.
laps going, that's kind of what I was so frustrated about, but
Yeah, so they're trying to do the safety car, get Max's car off. Max is beached. He goes out of the race. And essentially, they just didn't call the safety car in. And so we were going to have this crazy last lap where, Leclerc and Hamilton both switched to soft tires. Norris switched to soft tires.
Mhm.
Like,
Russell was the only one on used hards.
yeah, because he was in third and basically was just going to do whatever Lewis didn't do, which
Mhm.
was honestly, it's the right call.
Yep.
Um, and so we thought we were about to have this one race like Abu Dhabi throwback,
Mhm.
a one lap showdown of people absolutely just blitzing around the track, going crazy. And instead, we got a safety car through the finish line. They didn't
Yeah.
call it in. And that felt like a huge blunder by the FIA. So that was a bummer. I feel like they kind of messed up some stuff about the race, especially that last piece. Could have been so exciting. That
I
could have been
know.
like the most exciting Silverstone. Oh, it bums
Yeah.
me out, man. Bums me out.
But overall, I mean, I thought it was a good race. It stinks, and I guess like this kind of brings us into our next topic of like how are we feeling so far? We're at midseason, about to go into summer break. What are your thoughts? Like about to go into summer break, this race just happened. Like with everything up to this point, where are you at as a F1 fan?
Dude, I don't not great, if I'm totally honest. I'm more excited about the World Cup right now, and I'm more excited about the Tour de France. And I think that within itself is indicative of like the status of everything within F1. It feels like I don't know, dude, like this whole era just
I was going to ask, do you feel like that's because of the new car era, or do you feel like it's because we've had so many lulls with the dropping two races?
maybe the dropping two races was one of them. It just feels like there's so much to develop right now with this iteration. Like, you have Aston Martin still DNFing what feels like every freaking race. So, like, obviously, the car is so complicated that an entire team still can't get a car through the finish line, even though they have like a phenomenal driver. You have constant mechanicals, like weird stuff happening all the time. It just feels like maybe there's too much going on. And then, like, with all of the battery deploy, I like the overtaking and like the raciness of it all. But I just kind of wonder, like, what are we doing? Like, it just feels like everything has gotten so complex, and part of me just wants stuff to like strip back a little bit more, and the racing to be a bit more raw, um,
Yeah.
because there's all this deployment and battery harvesting, and people should be going fast and they're not. People are going way too fast when they shouldn't be. Like, I don't know. I'm I'm like obviously still along. I'm so here for it, but I liked racing the last couple years more than I do now. And I liked racing, you know, 6 years ago way more than I do
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
mean, I would tend to I think I'm in that same boat. I'm a little bit more on the this is kind of a bummer because I feel like the dropping the 2 Middle East races really took steam out of the engine,
Yeah.
and because I feel like things were getting going. Part of me is a lot of cars are I know McLaren's coming with upgrades to Spa, and I feel like the field is starting to close up on the Mercedes a little bit better.
Yeah,
And
Ferrari's
looking at
definitely
the
showing off.
constructors, I mean, constructors, they're let's just call it 80 points. Ferrari's 80 points back from Mercedes. Um, it's not terribly far apart when you think about the chaos that can happen towards the end of the season, like last year. Well, for the last
100%.
2 years, honestly. Um, but then the driver standings, like Kimmy's at the top at 179 points.
Dude,
George
and
Russell's
then wait, oh yeah, did Russell? No, Russell. Oh, Russell's in front of Lewis now.
Yep, George Russell's at 154, and then Lewis is at 147, and then Charles is at 108. So, I mean, it's not that far back when you think about it, especially with
No.
Kimi's issues and the Mercedes issues, pack tightening up. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot that can happen, but to your point, I see, there's opportunity for excitement towards the rest of the season. I just feel like the blender is you lost a lot of the momentum, and honestly, I don't love the racing, and I know it's been said and beaten like a dead horse, but it's like there's so much going on. It would just
Yeah.
be significantly better if it was just racing where
Totally.
you
Totally.
like DRS, I think like, get rid of the ERS, so the electrical recovery system to deploy. Just stick with the drag reduction system, and
Uh-huh.
then just go back to fully combustion engines. I'm
Totally.
like, there's I and then people say, "Okay, if you want that, just go to NASCAR." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, watch NASCAR, but also NASCAR don't race in the circuits that Formula 1 does, nor can they take the corners that Formula 1 does.
Yeah,
It's
cornering's
not."
different. You're, like, able to, like, to bump, like, the racing's way more
Mhm.
dirty and, like, clumsy in my mind. It's
Yeah.
it's not good.
Yeah, and
The
then I think
Yeah.
the GT racing has really kind of put in Formula 1 to shame of watching Max go out there, and then you watch those races and you're like, "This is freaking awesome racing.
Uh-huh.
This is what I wish Formula 1 was doing with the level of cars that they have." So, I guess in short, my where I'm at with this midseason is I think we're in trouble if things don't get better. In general, there's a lot of stuff competing for fandom attention,
Yeah.
and like FIFA, you're gonna have tough time competing with
Yeah, it's tough.
regardless.
World
And
Cup's always tough.
and then especially here in America is so few people follow Formula 1, even fewer follow it as closely as we do.
Yeah.
But then from that point, it's like you're gonna lose a lot of American fans. It's like they're just gonna
The
disappointed.
last thing that I'll say about how I feel about where we're at, especially with this new era of F1, I have no issue with complex cars, designs, new deployment systems for batteries and everything, if that takes a defined front runner field, midfield, and back of pack, like which is typically in F1 a huge spectrum of performance and condenses it down really small. Like if there was a world in which the regulations in racing made it so that literally any one of the 22 drivers could win any given race, that to me would be super exciting. And that's not what we have. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, the racing of like less electrical deployment, less complex machinery, more just like pure racing. If you're going to have a spread, then do it under that, like that format. If you're going to have this super complex hybrid era, that also doesn't squash the performance of the field, then I'm like, okay, wait, why are we even doing this? Even if you still have all of the pass and repass stuff of deployment, like that's kind of fun. But in my mind, I'm like, man, an F1 where, you know, a Gabriel Bortoleto could step up and go from like sixth to first because he was racing super well in a given day. Like that's really interesting to me. But right now that's not going to ever happen because you have all these cars that are so much better than an Audi. And like it's just never going to like happen from just a raw performance standpoint. So
Yeah.
that's my thought.
I mean, they are taking steps towards going back to fully combustion engine, so we'll see. I think they realize it was a mistake. Granted, it just sucks that we have to sit through this season and just wait for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe cars get better, things close up as far as the front of the pack. But even on the constructor side, there's a clear gap, and it's the gap starts at Red Bull, who's in fourth in the constructors at 128, and then Alpine, who's doing phenomenal at
Yeah.
60 points.
Really
I
good.
didn't know this until I looked at it, Natty, but Racing Bulls is now 59 points in the constructors.
Whoa.
So they're 1 point behind Alpine, which
That's crazy.
is kind of wild that they're at the top of the midfield. And then you have Audi of 6 points. I don't know how Aston Martin has a single point, but they have a point
Oh,
from the
from
Montreal Grand Prix.
no, not from Montreal. I believe it was from Monaco.
You're right.
Is because all the DNFs, Alonso got in there.
So hype. But dude, so I don't know. I would say I am on the bearish train right now for
Yeah.
Formula One, but who knows? Maybe after the United States wins the FIFA World Cup, I might have a different story.
Could be huge. Could be freaking huge. The only real quick. Oh no. Sorry, let me mute this call. The only other thing I want to note is the sleeper, dude. Hamilton is not far away from leading
I
the
know.
constructors. And that's kind of the other thing that I feel like I'm going to root for this season is Lewis coming back, weaseling his way through, potentially beating both Mercedes and having an 8th drivers championship. I think that would be a very exciting storyline to
Dude,
this season.
I think there are a handful of Ferrari fans that would cut their leg off for that to happen. Like, I think that is
100%.
why they brought
100%.
Lewis in
It would
to
be
Ferrari,
insane.
because that's what they've been wanting for so long. It would be so epic. And just
It would
to
be
be able
crazy.
to say,
It would be
suck it,
so
George,
sick.
in a different car. But I'm cool with Kimi winning. That'd be an epic story. But also Lewis a crawl back. I mean, I still think Kimi's going to choke towards the end of the season. I think George is going to choke earlier than Kimi, just because George, I don't think, is that good of a driver. So who knows what will happen. But I mean, next race, we got the Belgium Grand Prix, which is also typically a great race. I've always enjoyed it. I mean, our next handful of races should be epic. We got the Belgium Hungarian, now Italy's coming up. Like, there's the
It's gonna
last
be
part of
good.
this year is going to be sweet. When does the summer break actually start, Natty?
Isn't it after Spa?
Okay.
I believe it is because I know the Tour de France always happens when F1's not happening. So I believe we have Spa in 2 weeks and then summer break, and then I think we go back to the Dutch Grand Prix.
It looks like it's going to be Spa, then Hungary, and then it looks like from the Hungary Grand Prix, which is round 11, ends July 26th, and then we don't have another race until Netherlands in
Yep.
the 21st of August.
Yep. So it's
So
most
we
of
got 2
August then.
races. But
Okay. Very nice. Which I will be out of town soon. Hopefully I will take my laptop and we can still record.
but Natty, what
Talk
that
to me.
does bring us to is
It's dark in here, man.
Legends and Losers. Who's your legend of the week, Natty?
My legend is the one and only DC, David Coulthard. Yes, I'll say it again, David. David is one of the announcers, one of the 3 guys that's like commentating. I love David. He's older. He's I believe did he win a drivers championship? Look it up for me. I know he was an F1 driver, very good F1 driver. He did win one time the drivers championship, but he's a dog. But an old man, and he was not holding back from criticizing the FIA mid-race, and I kind of loved that. Like,
he also jumped in to criticize Lewis's penalty. He's like, "That's ridiculous."
yeah. No, he was critical of basically everything the FIA was doing. And he's kind of this raw voice of like, guys, what are we doing? And I love when a commentator who is like, he's paid by F1 to commentate is just ripping apart the governing body. Like, there's so much that you're probably not supposed to do as a commentator. I imagine on that list is deeply criticize the FIA, and he was not holding back, was just so visceral about like how bad the penalties were, especially the safety car at the end. He was just like, what are we doing? This is so silly. We were about to have such a good lap of racing. Everyone wanted to see that. Who blundered that up? That's so dumb. So David Coulthard, legend, always speaks his mind, and I appreciate that deeply in this day and age.
Yeah, and to jump in there, DC did win a drivers' championship for McLaren in 2001.
Wow, that's more recent than I thought.
But
yeah, he was the beast. Matt, who's your legend of the week?
honestly, Natty, my legend of the week is America. I mean, it's the 4th of July. It's 250 years of independence. And the real legend is the Cadillac team repping the USA kit on their car in
We never even
Britain.
saw him. We never even saw him in the
I
race. They
know.
never gave him any airtime.
They
I didn't even know they had that
see,
livery.
they realized, oh, the Americans are just rubbing in our face that they beat us in 1776. We're not going to show their flag.
Man,
But yeah, so shout out
what
to
a power
Cadillac for
move.
repping the colors in the what do we want to call them? The dictators country, the people that lost the war. And I love that it was in Britain during it. And I was like, come on, give me that
That
250.
that is so funny, dude. I didn't even know they had the livery. That's a great one. Hey,
Yeah, I just
well,
wish they were better. It would have been so sick if they actually were competitive, but
we need some national pride. So America is the winner on this 250 F1 America. That's hey, not a ton of things to be proud about oftentimes these days. And we love that livery. We love Cadillac. We love the US men's national team doing its business.
come
It's
on.
good. It's
We're
good.
ready to keep it riding. But
Oh,
that's my
I know. Actually, speaking back towards Legends and America, this is why you need to follow Tour de France cycling. Quinn Simmons, you need to look him up after
Quinn
this.
Simmons.
He's on the Trek team. He's one of the only, there's a few Americans that race that are really good. He's one of the best Americans. Full handlebar mustache, mullet,
Let's go.
like just a
Let's go.
dog out there. So you need to, and he wears, he's the American champion. So he wears a red, white, and blue jersey every race in Tour de France.
I love that. Come
It's
on.
pretty awesome.
We love the US.
Back to loser of the week. Matt, who's your loser of the week?
Loser of the week is that poor woman who decided to ruin the race for a blip of a moment because she let the wind grab her umbrella and throw it onto the track.
Bro.
It was so random. I was like, wait, who went off track? They're not talking about it. Why do
So
we have a
funny.
virtual safety car? And I just see the marshal just sprinting to catch this umbrella. And it was all
Yes.
the Lando fans with their highlighter umbrellas to support him in that grandstand.
Okay,
But
but here, you know what it gave me an idea for, and I think you're going to slowly call her a winner. You know how we make so much money? We just bet that there's going to be a virtual safety car, put all of our bank account in it, go to an F1 race, throw things on the track.
see, I was going a different route with that. I was thinking that we get stuff with the Dirtbag brand on it and let it fall into
Oh.
the track so they zoom in and they see the logo. Free
Oh,
advertising.
okay. See, that's what we call guerrilla marketing, and I like where your head's at. No, but this is the same, like, bet on there being a streaker at the Super Bowl, go to the Super Bowl and streak. Like, every year for the last 3 years, guys have done this.
Yeah, and that's what Alex did, the millionaire day trader who Matt Armstrong is rebuilding his Bugatti Chiron.
Yes, he literally did that.
He knew what he was going to do and had planned it, and people were placing bets on it. And I'm like, that's a hack. I don't know why that's a bet,
Total whack.
but hey, free money, I guess.
No, and so I think that's what we do. We need to bet on virtual safety cars at races where they don't normally happen. And then we just go to a race, enjoy the race. Meanwhile, we're tossing stuff onto the track.
Dude, Spa, we should totally bet on it because someone's going to throw one of those green Max Verstappen smoke grenades onto the track.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome.
But
So
that's
anyways,
my loser of the week. But Natty, who's yours?
mine is the audience. My loser of the week is the audience. We were robbed of what would be a highlight reel of a last lap.
See, I thought you were going to say
race.
because they're British fans and America has been free for 250 years and they lost the war. I thought that's where you're going, but keep going.
Also that. That's a good angle. I like that angle. No, I just I can't imagine being at that race and you're seeing the safety car in the last lap. You see what's happening. You're just so amped. You're about to and I was feeling this way too. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. The safety car is going to peel in and everyone's going to rip around this track. And then it just didn't happen. And I was like, wow, that's such a letdown. I was so sad about that. So that was the biggest loser, man. The audience just kind of got screwed out of a really fun last lap.
What is a term for that these days? Like gaslight? Like they were gaslit of, oh, we're going to get an epic finish. And then it's like, oh, FIA effed it up.
I think just edged. They were just edged.
It was for sure tough. I would have been livid if I was there. I would have been trying to get a crowd boo and fire the FIA or something.
For sure. It was so sad. So sad. So sad. So that's my myth.
Natty. So moving on from Legends and Losers, we have next week's predictions. And we have updates from last week's predictions. So, Natty, if you remember, we predicted the Monaco Grand Prix from our Montreal race review. Our predictions were you had Charles winning, Kimi in second, and George in third, with the wild prediction that the ghost of the groundhog that got absolutely deleted in the Canadian Grand Prix would come back to haunt Alex Albon, and he would DNF. You went 0 for 4. My picks were Kimi in first, Charles in second, Oscar in third, and Lance Stroll would find a way to DNF, which I guess is no longer a wild prediction at this point, because I got Lance Stroll DNF and Kimi winning. So I am currently up 2-0. So now for this week, we need to make some predictions for the Belgium Grand Prix. So top 3 and your wild prediction of this race. So starting with P3, Natty, who do you have for the Belgium Grand Prix?
Lewis Hamilton. I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go odds on this. I'm just gonna get this right, and I gotta win points back. No wild. I can't have wild choices. Lewis Hamilton, P3.
P2.
Kimi, easy.
P1.
George.
Wow.
Yeah, George is gonna get his revenge on Spa from, what was it, 2 years ago, where he went long in that absolutely insane race, and then but got DQ'd because of car weight.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I forgot
George
about
is gonna win. Crazy prediction though. My crazy prediction is that there will be. Oh man, my crazy prediction is that both Aston Martins will finish the race.
Oh, I was going to one up that.
My gosh. Okay. Well, you can one up that. And if it's Aston Martin related, then I get half points if you get it right.
So my P3 this week, not this week, my P3 for the Belgian Grand Prix is going to be George Russell, Kimi in P2, and our Max Verstappen to win the Belgian Grand Prix.
Okay.
Which that could have itself been a wild prediction, but my wild prediction was going to be an Aston Martin scores a point. That's my wild prediction.
Okay. Yeah. I think if you get that right, I get, well, I guess, yeah, if you get that right, I feel like you should get like a double point. You should get 2 points for that.
I'll take that.
Okay.
So 2 points for that one. If you get you get the Astons both finishing. And
no, but no, I don't get to. I think that's just
you get a point for that.
Yeah, just point. I think that's such a long shot that I think you should get 2 points.
I love that. Well, Natty, that concludes our British Grand Prix race review. Any last thought for the fans?
Man, it's good to be back. Sorry that I've abandoned you. I will do my best to make myself available in the midst of some more travels coming up.
But hey, we're excited to talk about how U.S. continues to shock the world in the FIFA World Cup. Next time we get to chat with you guys. Until then, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to the podcast. Make sure to subscribe, follow, and add alerts. But until then, we will see you next at the Belgium Grand Prix, and goodbye.